Well, from reports and particularly our own correspondents, things are tightening around the man who they think is the assassin. They are trying to catch him for killing conservative icon Charlie Kirk at a college event in Utah yesterday. It's not still been 24 hours, and the FBI is moving quickly now with some details and evidence that they've picked up in the last hour or so. And it's revealing this morning that images of the shooter exist, and you can see those images on your screen right now. If anyone has any information on this person of interest, please contact the FBI. 1-800-CALL-FBI, and we'll get that up on all of our social platforms immediately. Authorities are saying they have been able to track the suspect's movements and have recovered the high-power rifle officials say they believe the shooter used in the attack. The FBI is confident it will be able to catch this person. Sources close to Fox News also confirm investigators are looking into what appears to be messages that are written both on the gun and the shell casings, recovered by authorities just in the last 35 minutes or so. Bill Maluzhin has that part of our story. The content of those messages, though, is still unclear. At least they have not revealed them to us in the wider media. This is Outnumbered. I'm Harris Faulkner, here with my co-hosts, Emily Campagno and Kayleigh McEnany. Also joining us today, Laura Trump, host of My View with Laura Trump, and Lawrence Jones, co-host of Fox and Friends. First, let's go to CB Cotton and get the very latest at Utah Valley University. CB.
Hi, Harris. Well, multiple sources have told Fox News about the messages that appear to be left behind on both the ammunition and firearm recovered from the scene of Charlie Kirk's assassination. So far, the FBI, as you mentioned, has declined to comment on this, but what the agency is saying is that they've got lots of good video of the killer's path on this campus.
Hey, everyone. Today we're covering breaking updates on the tragic assassination of Turning Point USA founder Charlie Kirk at Utah Valley University. Authorities and the FBI are moving quickly, and we now have new details, video evidence, and even a person of interest identified.
We have tracked his movements onto the campus, through the stairwells, up to the roof, across the roof to a shooting location. We do have good video footage of this individual. We are not going to release that at this time.
Agents say the shooter got on campus less than an hour before assassinating 31-year-old Charlie Kirk, who was visiting Utah Valley University in Orem, which is about an hour away from Salt Lake City. The FBI says the gunman blended in well on campus and appears to be college-aged. Agents say he wore all-black tactical gear as he fired off the fatal shot from about 200 yards away towards the stage, where Kirk had just started answering a question from someone in the crowd. After the shooting, the suspect ran off into a neighborhood, according to FBI agents who say they found a high-powered bolt-action rifle in a wooded area. Other clues were also left behind.
Investigators have also collected footwear impression, a palm print, and forearm imprints for analysis.
The FBI is also asking for anyone with photos or videos to please share those with the agency. And moments ago, the FBI also released a new photo saying this could be a person of interest in this case. I know our show producers are going to work diligently to share that image with our viewers. Harris, back over to you.
Yeah, and we are putting up that image of the person of interest, CB, right now, and we will continue to do that. They are looking for the public's help now. They have obviously tighten their net around this suspect, and the public can be of immediate help just in cutting the timeline. They are going to get this guy. 800-CALL-FBI, and the image that you want to keep, that we'll keep up on the screen as long as possible, is there too. We're also, and I'm kind of saying this to you, but also asking our team wider who's listening to flood our social media with this. All platforms for Outnumbered right now as well.
From that report, we can see the FBI has already tracked the suspect's movements on campus. Officials say he entered the grounds less than an hour before the shooting, wearing all-black tactical gear, and fired a single fatal shot from about 200 yards away.
Lawrence, well, none of us slept last night, but you were up on the air earlier than anybody here on the couch. And this day has gone rapidly different than maybe some people had thought, and it's in a very good way. We're getting more information. We might be close to getting the suspected assassin.
Well, earlier this morning, there was a lot of trepidation for me, particular, even though a lot of people that I know and love and respect work at the FBI, that we hadn't got a photo. Because that's the first step right here in justice, is identifying who this person is so they can stand trial before the peers of this country with a jury. And now we have that photo. Our imagination, based on the person who they targeted, Charlie Kirk, and since he was given a political speech, and since they didn't fire at the crowd, but they fired directly at his head, we knew it was political. Now we got the shell casings and other ammo that have political messages there. So we're getting closer and closer. I just hope that we're all zooming in, all law enforcement. You got to get this guy. Charlie was a representation of a movement of young people in America. And I don't care if you agree with his politics or not. We can't have that in this country.
You know, part of the excitement, too, around Charlie, and I was sharing last hour, in the state of Arizona, he was being talked about in circles of people who were decades older than he. Can't wait till he becomes governor. Like, people saw the trajectory of this young man. But part of the conversation was, could he bring the youth vote? Because young people may get activated and motivated, but until they go to the polls, that's the big difference. And he apparently could do that.
Authorities later found a high-powered bolt-action rifle in a wooded area near the scene. Investigators also recovered shell casings and ammunition that appear to have had messages written on them. Forensics teams are also analyzing palm prints, footprints, and other physical evidence left behind.
Yeah, he did do that. I'll tell you, as the former RNC co-chair, we worked very closely with Turning Point USA. What Charlie was able to do is really miraculous. When you think about the fact that he didn't finish college, he dropped out of college, yet his goal was to mobilize these students to really change the tenor on college campuses, and he was able to do that. We saw a huge shift in young voters. This election in particular, especially with young men, Charlie played such a huge role in that. I don't think you can ever overstate it. I said this last night on Jesse's show, but I believe that Donald Trump probably wouldn't be president right now without the assistance of Charlie Kirk. What he has done and his legacy, I think, is even too big to comprehend right now. The void and the hole that will be left is enormous. And I'm just hopeful, as someone who cares about, this country and the forward progress of this country, that someone is able to pick up where Charlie left off. Turning Point USA is such an important organization. I'm personally very grateful for everything he did, all the work he did. And you can't go to one of those events without palpably taking in how impactful Charlie Kirk was.
Yeah, I want to get your response in part to what Lara is saying, because what she's talking about is more than a movement. It's a complete political shift. If you get a whole new generation of voters who have the kind of bravery to speak out that he embodied.
Yeah, Laura saw it firsthand at the RNC. I saw the data online today. A 44-point shift in Gen Z men over 2 years. How did that happen? Charlie Kirk. That happened because of Charlie Kirk. And when I look at that image on the screen, I know we have to show it. I know how important that is for law enforcement purposes, but I have rage in my soul when I see that individual. And I want to tell that person, and I hope someone does convey this to this person someday, somehow. Charlie had a light in him, a special light. And you might have thought you extinguished that light, but boy, did you not extinguish that light. You set a raging fire that is here to stay, and it is a fire that is going across the world when you took that young man's life.
Charlie Kirk wasn't just a conservative activist. He was a national figure who inspired young voters and helped shape modern conservative movements. His death leaves a massive void, but also a legacy of debate, faith, and mobilization that many believe will continue to grow.
I just want to share quickly some texts I got, because I've already shared my personal history with Charlie. These are texts I got from people who didn't know Charlie. One mom said, back to school night last night, was shocked and upset. He promoted free speech. He listened respectfully to dissenters. A mom from across the nation sent another text. I would find clips. I'd show them to my 3 sons. They would almost debate Charlie back. I was teaching them to have civil discourse. A father, I did not realize what voice he had with my kids and young people. Jim Jordan called me last night. He said his grandchildren say he is the Rush Limbaugh of their generation. And Chip Roy this morning shared with me a Bible verse his son sent him. And I think this is just sums up Charlie and sums up this moment. 1 Corinthians 15:58. He said this, "Therefore, my dear brothers and sisters, stand firm. Let nothing move you. Always give yourself fully to the work of the Lord, because you know that your labor in the Lord is not in vain." Charlie's labor was not in vain, and you on the other side of the screen, you lit a raging fire.
A Christian believer, an angel among us versus the devil. It is a spiritual warfare
Well said.
right now. Let's hear from Charlie Kirk a little bit. Let's watch.
I go around universities and have challenging conversations, and because that's what is so important to our country, is to find our disagreements respectfully, because when people stop talking, that's when violence happens.
I've never seen someone do this.
Well, it's a growing trend because people like me are facing violence, assaults, the left. Yes, the campus Antifa. I've been stormed out of restaurants. I've been assaulted publicly, multiple death threats.
Okay, so what's your goal in all this?
There's more people that agree with me than some people would actually believe, and they come out of the woodwork when I do stuff like this. We record all of it so that we put it on the internet so people can see these ideas collide. When people stop talking, that's when you get violence. That's when civil war happens, because you start to think the other side is so evil and they lose their humanity.
This is a developing story. Authorities are urging the public to share any information, photos, or videos that could help in catching the assassin. If you recognize the suspect shown by the FBI, call 1-800-CALFB immediately.